Friends, hello and welcome on techguruspeaks.com. Today I would like to describe about Java wrapper classes. Wrapper classes in Java are basically wrappers around primitive data types like byte, short, int, long, float, double, char and boolean. These are the 8 primitive data types available in Java. Primitive values in Java don't have the full capabilities of objects. An instance of a wrapper class contains or wraps a primitive value of the corresponding type. Wrapper classes in Java are basically public final. That means they cannot be extended or subclassed. Wrapper classes allow objects to be created from primitive types. The objects of all wrapper classes that can be instantiated are immutable, that is, their state cannot be changed or modified. Now have a look at the table here. Here we are having 8 primitive types: byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean. So these 8 are basically primitive types. Now we are having wrapper classes for each of the primitive types. Like for each of the primitive type, we are having one wrapper class. Like byte in lowercase is basically having a wrapper class named byte, B in caps. Short, short in S caps. Int, it is integer. Similarly for long, it is long L caps. Float, it is float A caps. Double, it is double D caps. For char, it is character. Just have a look at the syntax of int and char. So they are having different name as that of wrapper classes. Like int is having the wrapper class as integer, and for char it is basically character. And for boolean, as usual, it will be boolean but B being capitalized. So that is the idea of primitive types and their wrapper classes. So basically you need wrapper classes to convert primitive types to object types. Okay, so this wrapper classes or the primitive types can be used as an argument of a particular constructor, so that I have listed here, that you have seen also in some examples. So now I will be giving you the program demonstration for dealing with wrapper classes. Just have a look at the program code there and you will be able to understand what's going on. So this is the program that I have written for demonstration of wrapper classes. Say for example, I have got an int type variable. So it is having the value 100. So a equal to 100. Now I have tried to create a wrapper class object of int which is called integer. So that is why I have declared a variable here, integer space int obj. So that is the corresponding wrapper type for this int type variable a, which is initialized with the value 100. So if I am writing here int obj new integer a, so basically it will be creating a wrapper type object which is of type integer from the int type variable. So that is the idea of using wrapper classes. So by using wrapper classes, we will be able to convert the primitive type to its wrapper type. So these wrapper types are basically objects. Now there is a concept that is known as auto boxing, which is considered to be a new concept, which will be reducing the coding effort that we did just now. Like in order to convert the primitive type, that is a, to wrapper type, that means to integer, we need to write this statement like int object that is of type integer class equal to new integer within bracket a. So with this concept of auto boxing, we can write it by using an assignment operator and it will be quite simple to follow, like int obj equal to a. So basically both of these are doing the same thing. So autoboxing is basically implicitly calling this thing, but for a programmer's perspective it will be easier to follow, because in that way the coding effort will be reduced. That is the concept of autoboxing. So autoboxing feature reduces the programmer's coding effort when we are going to work with the primitive type to be converted into the wrapper types. So this particular statement in Java old style will be getting replaced by this particular thing or statement using this concept of autoboxing. So now if we print this, we will get the same values, because a is basically primitive type and int obj, that is the integer type, that means the wrapper type, it will be having the same value. Now we are having a variable, int type variable named b. Now we are going to do the reverse thing. That means the integer type object, I mean to say the integer wrapper class type object int obj is now converted into primitive type by using the method name int value. Okay, so it is old style. So nowadays we can do it simply by using the assignment operator. So that is called unboxing. So unboxing is basically doing the reverse thing. That means it is converting the wrapper type to primitive type at one go. That means this basically having similar kind of syntax like autoboxing, but the per, the thing that it is performing is basically reverse of the autoboxing. So in autoboxing we are basically converting primitive type to wrapper type, like wrapper class type, but here we are doing the conversion from the wrap, I mean to say from the wrapper type, that is int obj, to the b, that is the int type variable. So it is basically just reverse of the previous step that we have performed just now. So it is showing the same value here. So using autoboxing and unboxing, basically we are doing the same thing that we did with respect to old style of Java coding. Like I mean to say, by using this statement, actually it is calling this statement implicitly, similar to the previous one. But in idea of using the reducing the coding effort in terms of programmer, it will be much easier to follow. That means by using the technique autoboxing and unboxing, we can reduce the programmer's effort. That is the advantage. Now I will be giving you other examples for wrapper classes, like cat ch equal to x, that is a character type variable. I have taken another character variable. Now by using the character class constructor, that is for the wrapper type, we have converted the primitive type into object type. Now by using the char value method, by using this method we will be able to get back the old value, like the wrapper object will be getting converted into primitive type. So that is done here. We are getting back the old value that was pointed by ch, the cat type variable. Now we are having a number string, so 123.75, that is basically a floating point number. So the string str is pointing towards this value. It is basically a string literal. Now by using the parse type method, like double dot parse double within bracket str, this string type value, that means numeric string type value, is getting converted into double type. So that we have already followed with respect to taking command line argument. So that is the use of the parse type method for the wrapper classes. Similarly for integer we are having parse int, and so on. For floating point, that is like float, we are having parse float. So all these kinds of methods are already available for use. Now the last example deals with Boolean, like it is basically a Boolean wrapper class. So it is the corresponding reference. So Boolean dot value of false, as you know that it is having only two values, so either true or false. So that we have tested here by using a different kind of technique, the value of method. So now it will be basically creating an object from the Boolean value false. So now if I am just printing this, it will be showing the value false. So this program basically demonstrates the use of the wrapper classes, which is basically converting the primitive type into object type called the wrapper types. And this can be done by using the old style of Java coding, but in order to reduce the coding effort, we can have the concept like auto boxing, which is basically doing the same thing like converting primitive type to object type, or the reverse thing, that is unboxing, that is converting the wrapper type to primitive type. Basically auto boxing and unboxing is doing the same thing, but remember that it is basically calling the old style of coding implicitly. As a result, the coding effort is reduced in terms of programmer's perspective. So that is a thing that I would like to convey here. I hope that you have understood the logic of the wrapper classes that is to be used in this program. So I hope that you have thoroughly watched this video, and if you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a request to you, and this is the URL of my YouTube channel. And please visit my website techguruspeaks.com. You will find lot of useful information here. And finally comes my official email ID. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.